Everything changed the moment the system awakened. Levels, stats, skills, dungeons, power beyond imagination. With the blood of a Saiyan, the mind of a gamer, and a destiny that will shake the entire shinobi world, Naruto is about to become something far greater than Hokage. This is Naruto, the Gamer Experience. Now let's begin today's chapter. Hashtag Chijiri Sea hashtag. Naruto looks over the blue water of the Chijiri Sea as teams were starting to gather after stowing their gear in their assigned rooms. It seems everyone had the same idea of checking out the competition, save for Kiri as they weren't even aboard. Teams from AIM, Kusa, Suna, and several Konoha teams were sizing up other teams, but Naruto notices other teams were on edge. Kiba and Sakura have no situational awareness with loud talking, even trash talking other teams as well. I feel bad for Shinobu, Sarada says, as the rest of Team 5 arrive next to him. She is wearing a dark blue sleeveless cheapao shirt with her clan's fan crest on the back, a pair of lilac shorts, dark blue thigh-length stockings, black shinobi boots and long dark blue arm warmers, but one could see various tattoos of Oni and 5-petal flowers vines on her right arm. I agree, but he prefers not to rock the boat, Kagaya says. She wears a form-fitting light lavender, sleeveless kimono-style blouse with vertical lines, tied with a dark purple obi around her waist, short dark navy shorts, thigh-high stockings, and calf-length boots. Her left arm is littered in lightning shape but thorny vines around a female Oni. We should set Kiba straight. This isn't a game, Tsunade says. She wears a dark green-black sports bra and black pants that reach down to her shins, having white trimmings and matching socks with brown calf-high combat boots. Arm-length gloves secured by her middle finger and a black denim jacket with 2 long sagging straps along the sides. Seems someone has. Come on, Naruto says, pointing to a silver-hair Konoha genin with glasses. The redhead is wearing clothes from the store of Under Armour fitted top and tights combo, both having a dark camouflage design. Fitted white cargo shorts having a black belt and combat boots with a dark blue hoodie. You've taken the exams 7 times. You're probably weak, Kiba sneers. If that is your belief, but I have valuable information, the glasses-wearing genin says and brings out blank cards, explaining he can bring up info on certain genin. Naruto uses observe on this genin and learns his name is Kabuto Yakushi, but his skills were comparable to a jonin. Is he someone sent by the Hokage, Naruto thought. How about the beta male, Kiba says, pointing to Naruto. Kabuto looks over the redhead with a disarming smile and brings up his info with no prompt from him. Solo member of Team 7. 2A class missions, and what's this? Capable of using all 5 major elements, Kabuto says. Naruto narrows his eyes as many others were wide-eyed and whispering, only the Hokage. Kakashi. Sensei and Erosenin know that he thought, seeing Kiba grit his teeth in rage and then points to the redhead on Asuna team. Seems a little sus, Musashi says. Very sus. Then that's Gaara and he's the Ichibi holder, Naruto thought, using observe and sees his teammates are his siblings Temari and Kankuro. Shikaku is notorious for driving his hosts mad, Musashi says, and Naruto sees the black circles under Gaara's teal eyes with a tattoo of love on his forehead. Gaara is comparable to his initial SSJ transformation, while Temari and Kankuro are Chunin level. Gaara wears a long-sleeve crimson coat and full-length dark trousers with 2 buckled belts, a gray vest having a single strap over his left shoulder and 2 more buckled belts. Temari is blonde, having her hair in 4 ponytails and teal eyes, wearing a short-sleeve, black kimono with slits along the side and a red sash with fingerless black gloves. While Kankuro is dressed in all black with his hood having cat ears and face paint on his face. A fight quickly breaks out as the 3 Oto ninja named Zaku, Dosu, and Kin attack Kabuto to show off their power, which Naruto sees it's sound-based. Proctors get involved and everyone is on lockdown in their rooms for 2 days. Good thing you can sneak your clones out, Musashi says. Naruto is laying on his bed in thought on his unknown fourth reward for freeing Enko from her curse mark. They would compound otherwise, he says, as a knock echoes. He kips up to get his room service of 2 double cheeseburgers, chicken strips, fries and fish nuggets. Do you think Kabuto may actually be a spy? Musashi says. He does know classified info from other countries. But who is he a spy for? Naruto says and finishes his meal as a proctor comes to inform him that genin can now leave their rooms. He eventually leaves his room and comes across Gaara's team. So you can use all elements, Temari says. I doubt that, Temari Kankuro says, as Gaara simply stares. Believe what you want, Naruto says, walking past them. Mother wants his blood, Gaara says. He's not bad looking, Temari comments. Naruto goes find his fellow rookies, finding Team 5 and Team 10 as they discuss what happened 2 days ago. So are you really learning or can use all 5 elements? Shikamaru says. The 7 genin were sitting at a large table and beginning to play cards. Yes, Naruto says. Learning or can, Ino says, and Naruto says yes once again, causing her to nearly toss her cards at him. If you 3 didn't know. Judging by your reactions. So how can Kabuto know? Shikamaru says. I don't know. He's a genin like us but knows more information than he should, Tsunade says, tossing her cards and taking 3 more with a grumble. Naruto passes around cards with a few tricks mixed in as Musashi giggles softly, another weird skill bot, she muses. The 7 discuss things about Kabuto to the coming exams and what they will entail, but getting the answer the next day as their ship arrives on the main island of the Land of Water. All the genin were led to large warehouse where Kiri genin were waiting, and this immediately puts many genin on edge as all the Kiri genin were seasoned. Now that all the genin have arrived, we can begin, a voice says. Everyone looks to a raised dais and their jonin were standing in a row, but at the microphone is a diminutive young man. He has short, messy, gray hair, falling over the right side of his face and spiked up on the left. He also has pupilless pink eyes and a stitch-like scar running from under his left eye, all the way down his cheek. He wears a gray, sleeveless shirt with a short-sleeve mesh armor and a green poncho. He also wears a turquoise sash around his waist with a matching green apron over his pants and a pair of brown boots. The yondaime Mizuka Jigura Karatachi, Naruto thought. Now most chunin exams. Whether in Suna, IWA, Humo or even Konoha have some sort clandestine first round. However, that is not how things are done in Kirigakure. There will be only 1 round before the finals are held, Yagura says, and a few genin look shocked. This single round will take place on Horai Island. Each team will be given 1 engraved gold coin, and over the next 10 days, you will gain as many coins as possible. The 10 genin who collect the most coins will advance. Meaning you must select 1 member of your team to advance, Yagura says, and hears some shocked whispering. He's intentionally causing dissension in teams and only 10 can pass, makes everyone enemies, Naruto thought. Deaths will become commonplace on the island. So each of you will be given a waiver to sign before receiving your gold coin. Those that wish not to participate may return to the boat and return to your homeland. Once you gain your gold coin, you will have 1 hour to procure supplies and you will return to this warehouse, where boats will take you to Horai Island, where you will land at different places. Yagura finishes and leaves no room for questions. This makes things very interesting, doesn't it, Naruto? A voice says, and Naruto looks back to see his death with 2 others. Seems so, Naruto says, and uses observe to see her teammates were Akame and Kurome. Both have black hair and red eyes, both wearing a black sailor uniforms and red belts that have a red side skirt with long, black socks and shoes. It even paints a large target on your back. Seeing you are the only solo genin team and a rookie, Death says, seeing 3 kunoichi coming and by their looks were Naruto's women. Good luck, Naruto. Remember our bet, Death says, winking and leaving with her team. Was that her? Tsunade says, a scowl on her face, and Naruto nods. So only one of us will face her in the final. Should we make it? Sarada says. The rule may cause infighting between teams, Kaguya adds, as proctors hands out their waivers. Which the Mizukage may want, Naruto says, reading his waiver. It says Kirigakure is not held responsible for any injuries, maiming, crippling, sexual assaults or even death, and other villages will do the same. Be careful. If you run into trouble, you know what to do, Naruto says. We know, and turnabout is fair play, Tsunade says, and Naruto nods, signing his waiver and getting his gold coin. He could feel a few eyes on him, mainly those from the ship, but Akusa team is watching him and few Kiri teams were sizing him up as well. This island will be a lawless zone, Musashi says. I've read some of Kiri's history and Ya's recollections. Kiri ninja will be ruthless and will target foreign teams. What better way to show Kiri's dominance? Though his death must be hiding her Hayaton if she can enter, Naruto thought. Possible. She is skilled enough to not need it, but she probably kill anyone from Kiri who sees it, Musashi says, as Naruto leaves the warehouse for supplies but also scout things out. The port is putting on inviting atmosphere, but Naruto could tell it's a facade to keep people from asking too much. He heads to a few places and loads up on supplies for survival on a strange island, but notices a few people following him. Naruto moves down one the many alleys, but suddenly someone roughly brushes past him. You know, we don't go after coins until Horai Island, Naruto says, flipping his coin in the air as the figure gasps and opens his hand to see a button. Bastard, the figure says. He has a brown afro tied back with a striped bandana and light eyes, wearing a pair of red, pinstripe pants along with bandages around his waist, a long-sleeved black Jinbori war coat having a tan lining and gray hemming. He rushes in with punch, but Naruto catches it and tightens his grip as the figure cries out in pain to fall to one knee. Please don't harm Hasaku too badly. He meant no harm. Just a little fun, a voice says. Naruto lets Hasaku go as the owner of the voice comes from the shadows with a faint smile on his face. Shizuma, Hasaku says, clutching his hand. Shizuma has pointed teeth, shoulder-length wavy black hair falling all over the right side of his face and light blue eyes. He wears a red, sleeveless, pinstripe turtleneck shirt along with matching arm warmers, black pants and black Jinbori war coat like Hasaku. Didn't seem like fun to me, Naruto says, moving his coin along his fingers. Sorry, Shizuma says and looks into Naruto's eyes. You have nice eyes. He adds. Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto says. Well, Naruto Uzumaki. I look forward to seeing how those eyes look in death, Shizuma says, and takes Hasaku away in a swirl of mist. Seems there are some eccentric competition, Musashi says. Naruto leaves the alley and returns to the warehouse to await the time for the boats for Horai Island, seeing Shizuma, Hasaku, new faces Bunten Kurasuki, Hebi Ichigo, Kyoho Fufuki and Kagura Karatachi. I would hate to kill him. Maybe words can win the day, Naruto thought. Kagura resembles his uncle Yagura with short, messy, gray hair that falls over the right side of his face and spiked up on the left side of his forehead, pink eyes and a marking with 3 points running down under his left eye. He wears black pants, a striped purple shirt, a green long-sleeve vest having a high collar and black gloves. Isabu is sensible, but who knows how much his uncle has twisted him, Musashi says. Did you get everything you can get, Sarada says, snapping Naruto from his thoughts. Yeah. You 3-inch, Naruto asks. We got enough food and drinks. Tsunade sealed them away, Kaguya says. Choji was buying as many chips as he can. While Kiba was boasting about having the most coins, Tsunade says. Kiba's alpha male BS will get him killed. Especially now, Sarada says. Perhaps it will be a wake-up call for him, Kaguya says. Naruto. Let's meet every 3 days. That way we can take stock. I floated this with Team 10 and they will try, Tsunade says. Sounds like a good idea. I'll find you, Naruto says, and soon the appointed time comes, as team were ushered to numerous boats. Each team were on a single boat as each head for Horai Island, which is about a 2-hour journey over choppy waters. Soon Horai Island comes into view and it has an eerie feel to it. Thick mist settles on the island in places with a high mountain range towards its center. Listen, Genin. On the morning of the 11th day will a boat come. It will come to the pier on the eastern shore. Winners and survivors will be picked up. Corpses will be left to rot. Also pay your respects to the 4 war gods, the boatman says and slows his boat to about a half-mile away from the sandy shore. Go Genin, he adds. Naruto leaps off the boat and uses water walking to close the distance but is impressed that no one attacked on the water, though once killed the deceased will sink below the waters and lost the gold coin. He reaches the white sand which goes for about a quarter mile towards a thick jungle as Naruto takes a seat, unsealing his sword and its belt harness that also secures at his thighs. A thought popped into my head a while back. I wonder if it is possible to be a SSJ constantly. Like in everyday life, Naruto says, putting on the harness. What would be benefit of being SSJ constantly, Musashi says. Naruto rises to his feet and slips his sword in the harness. Well, for one, it could be a natural state. This minimizes the strain during battles, he says. You don't fight such high-level foes in your everyday life, Musashi says. Naruto enters the thick forest and leaps to the trees to move faster. True, but it is something to put in my back pocket, he says. He travels the jungle for about 20 minutes to search for teams but also a place to make a mini base. Soon remnants of a town or village made with stone and mortar appear. Naruto traverses the village as the forest has overrun it and been given back to nature, but he slowly stops, before dodging a large flurry of shuriken from 3 Konoha Genin. Wasn't that, one says. Yeah. His red hair is a dead giveaway, a second says. I happen to like my red hair. My mom had lovely red hair as well, Naruto says, hovering above them with his hands in his pockets. He's flying, the third of the team says. Naruto lowers himself and adds his ki to hammer home what he is about to say, since you're Konoha Genin. I'll be lenient, but I will be taking your coin. Then I suggest you hide or you will surely die. Other nations' Genin will kill you. Kiri Genin will do it on sight, he says, holding out his hand. The first Genin reaches in his coat with fear-filled eyes and gives Naruto the gold coin. I pray you survive, but I'll be realistic and say I won't see you again, Naruto says, leaping off further into the jungle. Quite harsh to them but ultimately realistic, Musashi says. Naruto makes a dozen to spread out and look for places for a mini base but also Kiri Genin, yeah. Even with the changes the Hokage made. Some are still not cut out to be shinobi, he says. He makes 4 more clones to erase their presence and head in 4 directions to give him a size of the island. There is wildlife on the island as birds call out and Naruto sees some wild boar, also more homes overgrown. I wonder what this island was like, Naruto says, perched on a tree and drinking some water, but his senses alert him as several explosive tag fly towards him. Naruto leaps down as the tree explodes, but as he lands is forced to dodge a rain of Senbon needles. A kunoichi shunshin's behind him several feet and holds up a paper seal, keifujutsu, kamifubuki, she says, as a torrent of paper bursts forth, but Naruto uses kawarimi with a log. He sees there are 3 kunoichi in total from AIM named Ajisai, Fu, and Swearin. You're from AIM, Naruto says. And you're from Konoha. The one who can use all 5 elements. Doing so only because you live in one of the big 5-inch, Ajisai says, disgust in her tone. And Naruto says. And it is because you live in a great nation. You know nothing of the pain smaller nations have suffered for your wars, Ajisai says. Maybe, but that doesn't mean I'll hand over my life to alleviate your pain, Naruto says. Suetun, Kirisamigakure no Jutsu, Swearin says, creating a drizzle like mist. Keifujutsu, shuriken, Ajisai says, unsealing numerous shuriken, and Naruto dodges with a fling of a few kunai. He uses a tree as springboard to launch at Ajisai, but she slams her hand down. Kuchios, Yujiman, she shouts, creating a sturdy gate and blocking Naruto's missile dropkick. He bounces back as Fu and Swearin swing their closed fans, but Naruto blocks with his forearms, while Ajisai unseals binding rope to tie up the redhead. Naruto flexes his arms out and frees himself as all three leap back, but he breaks right to strike Fu in the chest with a palm, into rushing Swearin with another palm as he sets his sights on Ajisai and a roundhouse sends her crashing into a tree. Naruto checks each for a pulse but doesn't find one and checks for their gold coin, finding it in Ajisai's pouch. Sorry. Your pain may be greater than mine, but like I said, I won't hand over my life for it, Naruto says, closing her eyes. He strips their packs for supplies and lines up each body before using Doton to sink them under the ground as rain begins to fall. Naruto pulls his hood over his head and says a small prayer before heading further inland. No other attacks come as sunset comes to end the first day and Naruto finds some ruins leading underground. He sends a clone to investigate and it is collapsed further in, so Naruto seals the entrance with a transparency and detection barrier. He can see out but no one could see him and beds down about 15 feet from the entrance. Now to sort through my clone memories, Naruto thought, pulling out a blanket and wrapping it around himself as he sits down. He learns that his clones had a similar idea and started from the center and moved outwards, using the map for distance. The island is about 11 miles in each direction and has a barren area near the base of the range with dense jungle. His other clones spotted the Kiri teams and his hypothesis was correct as any team not from Kiri were killed. Luckily none of his fellow rookies were involved but 2 Kiri teams happened upon Gaara's team. Crushed to death by sand. What a way to go, Naruto says. The first day of the exam comes to an end as some teams survive their day by gaining coins or lose their lives and coins. Naruto awakes a few times due animals tripping his barrier but none find him before slowly going back to sleep each time until morning comes. He packs up his blanket and strips off his coat after taking down his seals, before creating clones for his dailies and unpacking a light breakfast. Will you use this as your base, Musashi says. Possible, but I need to see the eastern pier. So I'll head there and collect more coins, Naruto says, finishing his breakfast drink and begins his other daily workout. Emergency quest received. Stop Orochimaru of the Sannin, save Sarada and Team 5 from the curse mark. Rewards. 1. 100,000 EXP. 2. 500 rep revolutionizes. 3. Minus 1,000 rep Kimimaro Kagaya. 4. Minus 1,000 rep Gurin. Music, Orochimaru theme. What? Why is he here and after Sarada, Naruto thought, before using his map to find Team 5 and blasts off with a purple aura. Across the island on the northwestern side, Team 5 were doing well, encountering 2 teams and gaining 2 coins. However, a sinister group is chasing them as the 3 were in a small clearing after stopping one of the Kusa teams. However, suddenly the wind picks up violently, tearing through the area as the 3 try to hold on, but Kagaya and Tsunade were blown away, while Sarada crashes into several bushes and hits a tree. What the was that, Sarada thought, staggering to her feet and emerging from the bushes, but sees a large runt torn into the ground. Kagaya? Tsunade, Sarada shouts, looking around frantically, but ominous chuckling echoes around her. Fu. I would worry about yourself. Rather than those girls, a dark feminine voice says. A tall figure emerges from the shadows of the trees with long smooth hair and black eyes. She wears a tan top with a greenish outfit underneath, a thick purple rope belt tied in a large knot behind her back. Sarada sees 2 others in the higher trees as both are dressed similarly to the kunoichi but having straw hats and black cloaks. Who are you? Sarada says, this unease weighing down on her and her instincts telling her to run. The kunoichi pulls her gold coin from her pack with a giggle. You want this, she says, before flipping it into the air and swallowing it down. Call me sure, and before very long. One of us will have both coins and the other will be dead, the kunoichi sneers, unleashing her ki. Sarada gasps as her death plays before her very eyes and causes her to drop their knees as she vomits. Fu. So much for one of the mighty Uchiha Shiror sneers. Sarada struggles to her feet as her Sharingan activates and gains another Tomo. I need to fight and find the others, she thought, wiping her mouth. Ah. She's overcome her fear through sheer will. Kukuku Itachi has taught her well, Shiror thought. Sarada throws herself forward with a thrust of kunai and shuriken, but Shiror dodges back, breaking left, and Sarada chases into several kicks as Shiror blocks and counters with her own. Your Uchiha blood has arisen. Show me more, Shiror says, blocking Sarada's blows, and the young Uchiha leaps back with a weave of signs to Tiger. Katen, Gokakyu no Jutsu, Sarada shouts, firing a large flame. Shiror dodges the flames, but Sarada closes in with a barrage of kicks and punches that Shiror dodges. However, Shiror gains the upper hand, sending Sarada into a tree with a crack, but the Uchiha princess substitutes with a log and pulls some ninja wire, ensnaring Shiror to another tree. Katen, Ryuka no Jutsu, Sarada shouts, engulfing Shiror and blowing a hole through the tree from the concentrated flames. Sarada pants heavily to rein in her breath as her eyes were on Shior's teammates, but ominous chuckling comes from Shior's body as she frees herself, but the feminine tone shifts to a male tone. Impressive, Sarada dear. Such control over your Sharingan. You will do so nicely, Shiror says, but part of her face is ripped away. The ripped portion reveals pale white skin and a yellow snake-like eye with purple markings over the lid. Your eyes are so much keener than Itachi's, Shiror says. Who are you? Sarada shouts, trying to move but cannot. Music change, Metalingus altar bridge. I am Orochimaru, but that's all you get until we meet again, Shiror says, and prepares to extend his neck to bite Sarada. However, this loud noise like a jet engine echoes and Orochimaru turns as a red missile slams into him, crashing him through the jungle. Lord Orochimaru, two voices shout and vanish, as Sarada falls to her knees. Back with Orochimaru as the Sannin crashes into a large clearing as Naruto hovers above and slowly lands, but Orochimaru's mouth opens wide as another undamaged Orochimaru comes out. Kukuku. Naruto, Orochimaru says, as the redhead has a blank but angry look on his face. Keep calm or mistakes will be made, Musashi says. Are you upset, Naruto? Seeing that you rushed to deer. Sweet. Noble, Sarada's aide Orochimaru says, and a smirk forms on his face. Or maybe I should have chosen Tsunade to play with, or the little bunny Kagaya. Each could have received my gift, he adds. Naruto clenches his fists as they nearly bleed but slowly raises them like Unchained did once before bringing them down and transforming into a SSJ to Orochimaru's shock. Is this because of the Kyuubi? Then I'll simply shut it out, Orochimaru says, but his breath hitches as a fist is inches from his face, before the Sannin flies back with 3 hops. Final shine, Naruto shouts, firing the green blast towards the Sannin, but Orochimaru sheds his skin to escape underground as the blast destroys a section of land and catches the attention of a few teams. Orochimaru emerges from the now cleared area on his belly with a grin on his face. Very destructive, Naruto, but futile if you can't hit him, he says. He spews numerous snakes from his mouth as each spew a sword from their mouth towards Naruto. Machine gun blows, Naruto says, firing numerous energy blasts and destroying the snakes while creating a smoke cloud, but the redhead flies through. Naruto misses Orochimaru with a downward punch as the Sannin dodges right, but Naruto keeps up into a 20-piece combo from them, as Orochimaru creates a gap as his fingers are coated with light purple chakra. Gojiofuen, Orochimaru says, swings his hand forward, but Naruto shins behind the Sannin and cracks him with back elbow. Orochimaru staggers several steps as Naruto closes the gap and slices him across the waist with violent God Slicer, but snakes burst from the halves, fusing the Sannin back together. The Kyuubi has given you such power, Orochimaru says, fixing his body as Naruto keeps his eyes on the Sannin. Naruto flares his golden aura and spreads his arms apart as it immediately puts Orochimaru on guard, forcing him back several dozen feet. The redhead shoots his hands forward with his wrists touching as yellow energy forms while Orochimaru bites his thumbs and slams his hands down. Kuchios, Sunju Rashomon, the Sannin declares. Final flash, Naruto declares, firing the yellow blast as 3 demon gates emerge from the ground and each a demonic face. The blast slams into the first and breaks through as well the second, but has lost steam as it explodes on the third, localizing the explosion to the area of the gates. Hashirama used similar gates to deflect by Biju bombs, Musashi says. Then Orochimaru is still alive, Naruto says, using the smokescreen to swap with a clone and erase his presence. The smoke slowly clears and in the distance one can see Orochimaru's lower half coming from the ground, but suddenly Orochimaru's upper body bursts from the ground with the sword of Kusanagi to pierce Naruto's clone through the chest. Kukuku. All this power and you will die, Naruto, Orochimaru says, mocking the redhead as he spews up blood, but he grabs the blade. Look up, the clone says. Thunder Geyser, Naruto shouts, coming down with punch to the Sannin's head and creating a spiderweb crater. Lord Orochimaru, a voice shouts. Shoton, Suishoro no Jetsu, another voice shouts. Naruto turns and throws up his arms to block pink crystal, but it shockingly spreads to engulf his body as two figures arrive, one with white hair and green eyes, while the kunoichi has light blue hair and a high ponytail. How is Lord Orochimaru? Kimimaro, the kunoichi says. Alive but injured, Guren. We need to take him to Kabuto, Kimimaro says, glaring daggers at Naruto's frozen form. Don't bother, Kimimaro. He will suffocate or I can shatter him into dust, Guren says, maliciousness in her voice. The crystal prison slowly starts to glow as Kimimaro lifts Orochimaru while Guren looks on in shock. Impossible, she says, as cracks form and they vanish. It explodes with golden energy as Naruto frees himself with a roar to the heavens. What the hell was that, he says. Song ends. Emergency quest partially completed. Level up. Rewards. 1. 50,000 EXP. 2. 500 rep revolutionizes. 3. Minus 1,000 rep Kimimaro Kagaya. 4. Minus 1,000 rep Guren. He escaped but he paid a price, Boya, Musashi says. Naruto slowly powers down and looks around, maybe but now to find Sarada and the others, he says, and uses a special seal to find them as he vanishes. He soon finds them with some bruises and minor injuries but all alive, Naruto, Sarada says, as the redhead lands and hugs him. You three okay, Naruto says. We are just got some cuts from being blown away. I fought a giant snake though, Tsunade says. I avoided attacks. Sarada told us what happened, Kagaya says. We saw some explosions, Tsunade adds. I went a few rounds with a Sannin. I think he underestimated me and I did some good damage, Naruto explains. Mom will be happy, but why is Orochimaru here, Tsunade says. He seemed to want Sarada. Did he say anything, Naruto says? He said I would do nicely. He even said something that my eyes were keener than my brother, Sarada says. Come on. We'll head to my mini base. So you three can decompress, Naruto says, and the three nod, following him to his base and avoiding other teams. This is it, Tsunade says, as Naruto leads them underground and sets up his barrier. It's blocked, Kagaya says, using her Byakugan. I stayed about 15 to 20 feet from the entrance with a barrier, Naruto says, pulling out his blanket for them to sit down. We set up a barrier too with tents, Tsunade says. How many teams did you encounter, Naruto asks. 1. We have 2 coins now, Sarada says, still coming down from facing a Sannin. I have 3. 1 from a Konoha team and 1 from AIM, Naruto says. I hope the others are okay. We won't be meeting for another 2 days, Kagaya says. One can hope, Sarada says, as Naruto gets to his feet. I'm gonna check something out. I'll leave a clone in case you need something. Oh, and don't worry, the barrier is warning alert in case, Naruto says, heading up the steps after making a clone. Thank Kami, Naruto made it in time, Sarada says, and both nod. True, but how did he know? We didn't use the seal, Tsunade says, looking to the clone, but he says nothing. Meanwhile, Orochimaru grits his teeth in anger as Kabuto finishes healing him. Naruto is quite powerful. I can see why Itachi is using him to deal with Yagura's nephew, Orochimaru says. Are we still aiding Yagura, Kabuto says, but the Sannin frowns. No, but Kimimaro will enter the finals. You may face Roz's son and drive him to wreak havoc, ruining Kiri and the rebels' plans, Orochimaru says. What about Uzumaki? He harmed you, Lord Orochimaru, and kept you from the Uchiha, Gurren says. No worries, Gurren dear. I will still get my hands on Sarada. He'll make sure that I eventually do, Orochimaru says, laughing. 5 days have passed since the beginning of the Chunin exams. Many genin have lost their lives on Horai Island and standouts have been making their name on the island. Gaara of the Sand crushing his opponents and being completely unharmed. Another Suna shinobi able to move complete silence, while another has the eyes of eagle, and there were rumors of a gold fighter. Naruto had managed to scout the pier on the eastern shore and meet Team 10 on day 3 with Team 5. Sarada left out her encounter with Orochimaru as each team discussed the 3 days. Each would separate once again and agree to meet once again on day 10 to head for the pier, but each have yet to see Team 8. Naruto is currently heading for the temple for the 4 war gods but would meet one of the rumored genin. Boya. Hold, Musashi says, and Naruto halts after leaving the jungle into the barren area. Something wrong, Naruto thought. Genjutsu but not very strong, Musashi says, and Naruto sends to a pulse burst of her chakra. How could he know Shira? Asuna Kunoichi says, not far from the redhead. She has brown eyes with black pupils and sandy brown hair tied in a ponytail with 2 strands of hair positioned on each side of her face and 2 braided strands. She wears a mesh armor bodysuit under a red tube dress with a blue-purple belt, fingerless gloves, shin guards, and black sandals. He is Naruto Uzumaki. A very adept shinobi, Shira says. He is fairly tall and has a rather fit physique, spiky taupe gray hair combed backwards except for 2 bangs with several scars on his body but also his face. He wears a long sleeveless, dark green shirt tied with a light green sash, gray pants, black arm braces, bandages on his right biceps and a small amber Magatama necklace. Go to Yome. I'll handle this alone, Shira adds. You know me but I don't know you, Naruto says, as Sin vanishes. I am Shira and I wish to wager 2 of my coins to face you, Shira says, and Naruto tilts his head. You have enough coins to wager 2, Naruto says. I do. My team and I have 4 and there are 5 more days to gain more coins, Shira says. Naruto slowly rolls his right shoulder with his blue eyes on Shira. All right, I have 8. So I'll wager 2 as well, he says. Music, Seldweller, I Can't Wait, Metal revision by Paul Uderov. Shira shifts into a loose stance with his hands raised as Naruto has no stance to start, but both could not see an opening. Both have the same idea and rush forward, each landing a grazing blow with a skid into a barrage of punches to mixing in kicks, knees, elbows and even forearms. His moves are nearly flawless, both thought, catching each other hands in a test of strength and into several vicious headbutts. Naruto yanks Shira back into a monkey flip with enough force the Suna to make a full revolution. Shira bounds to his feet and narrowly avoids a Superman punch from Naruto, before slamming into the redhead for a spear but finds Naruto is like a very large boulder. Naruto slams a few forearm blows to Shira's back and his legs give out but the redhead lifts him up for running border toss powerbomb. You fight in an interesting way, Shira says, getting to his feet. I guess so. However, so do you. You fight like a Hyuga and can close chakra points, Naruto says, and a faint smile forms. You move with no sound. Very much like an owl in flight, he adds, and Shira's eyes widen. You managed to ascertain my silent fist from our exchanges, Shira says, astonishment in his tone. Naruto sucks in a breath and flexes his arms forward to expel chakra and open his closed points. When you have 3 girlfriends with 3 distinct fighting styles, you learn a few things, he says, rolling his shoulders. T3G girlfriends, Shira says, eyes wide and a little pink on his cheeks. Yeah. Back home I am the last of my clan. So I qualify for the CRI. Meaning I need 6 wives in the end, Naruto says, and Shira has a mouth like a gaping fish, now that the intermission is over. Let's continue, the redhead says. Shira barely gets his arm up to block Naruto's left hook into a 10-piece combo. His blows are heavier and faster. I'll need to use the Shirchi Tenkaho, Shira thought, as Naruto presses him and getting a few blows through. Naruto swings a heavy right, but Shira avoids him into several backflips. Shirchi Tenkaho, Daiichi Kasei, Shira shouts, as he lands. His eyes go completely white and this yellow aura surrounds him. Daini Kasei, Shira shouts, as his body expands slightly and his muscles become distinctly more prominent. It looks similar to Kaioken, Naruto thought. Daisen Kasei, Shira roars, as his skin becomes more red and he blitzes forward. He connects with a heavy left to Naruto's face and vanishes to hit the redhead with a spinning kick, sending Naruto crashing forward and he kips up. Naruto rushes forward as both unleash a barrage of punches that is nearly unseen by the naked eye. The clash breaks as Shira skids back but quickly shoots back into another clash, breaking once again as Naruto skids and rejoins the fray. Shira could feel the limit of his 7 heavenly breathing but pressed on to at least show Naruto his mettle. The redhead goes low as he ducks under a punch from Shira. Iron annihilation, Naruto thought, indenting a fist into Shira's side. It's like I was hit with a sledgehammer, Shira thought, his legs buckling and his body reverting to normal as he crashes to his knees. Naruto looks as Sen and Yom appear as the latter is very concerned for Shira. Let me heal you, Yom says, as Shira falls to his butt. She has brown hair tied in 2 ponytails that curl the further it reaches the ends and 2 blushes on each side of her face with orange eyes having black pupils. She wears sleeveless mesh armor under a tan overall top with gray elbow protectors, light blue shorts with purple leg warmers and black sandals. This was fun, Shira. I hope we can do it again, the final Naruto says. I agree, Shira says, urging Sun to give Naruto 2 of their coins. I can leave a clone to let her do her healing, Naruto says, taking the 2 coins from Sen. We'll be okay. My genjutsu will hide us, Sen says, waving one of her fur-tipped fans. Well. Stay safe and I'll see you in the finals, Naruto says and takes off for his original objective. He moves through the barren land towards the mountain range but more so the ruins of the War God's temple. However, a familiar translucent blue box appears. Optional quest dungeon received. Yes/no. Face the 4 war gods and gain blessing. Rewards. 1. Plus 5 cc%. 2. Yin or Yang release unlocked. 3. Party system unlocked. Party members gain plus 50% to stats permanent. 4. Harem members gain knowledge of gamer bloodline, only those unlocked. And that wraps up today's chapter of Naruto, the gamer experience. Naruto's journey is only getting crazier. New powers, stronger enemies, bigger mysteries, and legendary battles still await. If you enjoyed this chapter, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Comment below, what was your favorite moment in this chapter? Until next time. Keep grinding. Keep leveling up. And I'll see you in the next chapter.